This week's Too Deep Report is sponsored by Elk and Elk, serious fans of Ohio State athletics. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO.
Well, if we learned one thing last week in the win over Michigan State, it was this. Depth on the offensive line is critical. Even without three starters, the Buckeyes were able to run the ball and beat the Spartans. For more on the offensive line, here's Jim Lachey with this week's Elk and Elk Too Deep Report.
Yeah, they certainly did have the ability to run that football last week. Obviously, the quarterback, when he goes over 100, when Trey Sermon goes over 100, that's going to be a good day. And you're doing it with really four different guys playing different positions or playing positions for the first time. But it did show the depth of Ohio State. When you're losing your top three offensive tackles, arguably, out of the ballgame, Thayer Munford, Nicholas Petit-Fier, Paris Johnson Jr. were all out. So you John Jones in at left tackle and Max Ray over at right tackle, and things go off as planned, and you rush for 300 yards. You're losing one of your guards because he's got to go move over to center because your starting center, Josh Myers, is out. Harry Miller fills in over at center. And then old Matthew Jones comes off the bench and does a really good job sealing things up and playing well. Right guard, of course, Ryan Davis has been fabulous throughout his career. He was the only guy that stayed in his same position. So, yeah, you can credit obviously Mark Pantonio for the recruiting that he's done over the years when the fall off is just a little bit. It's not huge like you see in a lot of teams. And obviously Coach Segura, the way he got these guys developed, he had some time during the week to get these guys prepared. But it's one thing to prepare them, but then you have to go out and execute it. And I thought these guys all did a fabulous job. And obviously the results showed you get a big win and you run for a lot of yards.
This week's Too Deep Report is sponsored by Elk and Elk, serious fans of Ohio State athletics. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO.
Everything we did is good.